So now we're putting it all together. You may have seen the video that I did earlier. You could go back and watch that if you haven't, where I put together my dog's food. It only takes us about 10 minutes, so let's time it actually. We're going to start with the Dr. Harvey's. This is the Canine Health. That's what Levi gets. And he is getting 2 scoops. It comes with this scooper in it that measures out a 1/4 cup. And so he gets 2 of those. I'm going to start the water running so that we've got hot water. And then the vegetable is what Zella gets, and she also gets 2 scoops. Like I said before, these guys weigh each about 55 pounds, roughly. So that's what's recommended for their weight. And she gets 2 scoops. So we put just, now in the package it tells you to measure out a certain amount for the hot water that you add. I don't measure it. I just add it to where that it is good and covered. Everything in there needs to be good and covered. So I just add enough water that it's good and covered. And we're going to put those here. Now I've set everything out for them, what I'm going to put in their food. That was just Levi's thyroid medication I dropped in there. So I buy Power Greens because I like to make these for my own salad. So adding Power Greens just gives them a little bit of greens. You know, your dogs eat grass, and that's normal and natural. It doesn't mean they're sick necessarily. It's just something that they do. They also need that green in their diet, just like people do. So giving them spinach and kale and things like that is actually good for them. And it just helps with their digestive a little bit. So I've got 2 dogs and I've just a little handful of greens. And I put those in their food like so. And then I'm going to grab some broccoli. I've got a broccoli crown here. What I typically do is just break off a piece, maybe, and just flake it up into their food. Now on the package, the Dr. Harvey's, it tells you that it takes 8 to 12 minutes for it to set up. And typically it takes a little bit less than that. I'm thinking 8 minutes is probably more than enough, is plenty for them to, for the actual dehydrated, I should say, food to set up. 8 to 10 minutes is usually plenty of time. So we put our broccoli in, put our greens in. I've got ground turkey and tilapia. Now the reason I put tilapia in, as I explained earlier, is because she's got, Zella, my dog Zella, has a kidney issue, and she really needs food that's low in phosphorus. That's one of the things that is recommended, is to keep the phosphorus low. So they're getting a 1/2 cup. So they had a 1/2 cup of the Dr. Harvey, so it was 2 of those 1/4 cup scoops, and then a 1/2 cup of the meat. And that's what's recommended for their size. And actually I talked to my vet about it, and he is the one that suggested a 1/2 cup. Actually, I want to say the package may have recommended 3/4 of a cup of the meat. And for these guys, that was too much. So take it with a grain of salt, you know, figure it out what you want to put in there. In the morning, they get the CoQ10, which I talk about in the Dr. Harvey's video, and why I ordered that, because of his heart condition. It's good for heart health, and it's also good for kidney health and digestion. It helps with a lot of different things. So that's their food that I put together. I'm going to mix all that up a little bit. I add into their food now. We talked about this because this is something that I was concerned about when I first started looking into feeding my dogs homemade diet, and that is anything extra that I can add that helps with their health and their digestion. Now the Dr. Harvey's, you don't have to add these products. I get all of these products from Four Leaf Rover. I get their fish oil product from Life's Abundance. Links will be in the description, so you can pop down there and take a look at all of the different things that I add. So I have chosen to add a few things from Four Leaf Rover, primarily because of Zella's health. She's had a plethora of allergies. She's got some kidney issues, and she just needs some extra stuff. So probiotics are always good for your dogs. This is a soil-based probiotic called Protect. It comes from Four Leaf Rover. It's something I really like for them. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of that in there. And dirt-based probiotics are so much better for your dogs than just probiotics like we would take. And I've done that. I've given my dogs probiotics that I take. It's not always the best for them. So, you know, giving them probiotics that are dirt-based probiotics are so much better for their health. And the next product I'm going to add here is called Digest. And it's just like a digestive enzyme, a digestive support that is that helps them digest their food, just like a digestive enzyme that you would take. So that's the Digest. In the morning, they get turkey tail, and that is a fantastic product. Turkey tail is great for building their immune system and helping fight cancers. We'll talk about that later. In the evening, they get 7 shrooms, which is a blend of mushrooms that helps with their immune support. Mushrooms are great for building immune support. So those are the evening ones. This product is called Better Bones. It's also from Four Leaf Rover, and it is a calcium for them. It's actually bone, and I just put a little bit in their food morning and a little bit at night. Recently, I've started trying this one, and I don't really know how it works yet, so I'll have to keep you posted on that. It's called Red Rover, and it's organic berry blend that comes from Four Leaf Rover. It's to help with allergies. Since Zella's having a lot of seasonal allergies right now, I got that to put in her food specifically. In the morning, I put in their omega-3 fish oil from Life's Abundance. In the evening, however, we do a little bit of coconut oil. And honestly, I just get this coconut oil at the store. Is it the best quality? I don't know, but it works for them. It works for me. I use it when I'm cooking. It's just something that I have on hand, and it's good for their coat to have a little bit of coconut oil. So the coconut oil goes in there as well in the evening. So I want to mix that all in a little bit so that the probiotics and all the powders are mixed up. And hopefully you can see what these look like so far. And it looks like in fact, I'm going to put a little bit more warm water in this one. Looks like they are starting to get really good and hydrated. The next thing that I add is, and this is just pumpkin in an old cottage cheese container. I add some, and I forgot I've got to put this in there. Zella's having some allergies right now, so she's taking a little bit of an allergy relief. So we're going to put that in her pumpkin. So she doesn't even know what's in there. So there's the pumpkin. And then I add a little bit of cottage cheese. Oh, I'm sorry. He needs some pumpkin too. He would be sad if I forgot his pumpkin. Levi would. And then we get a little bit of cottage cheese. They all like cottage cheese. I am not a fan of cottage cheese, but the dogs seem to think that it is fantastic. And it's a good source of protein as well. So a little bit of cottage cheese, a little bit of pumpkin, and topping it off with some blueberries. I like to buy these wild blueberries. They're small. So some of the frozen blueberries that you get in the grocery store are larger. They're good sized blueberries. These blueberries are really tiny, and so it's easy for them to eat. So I just sprinkle a little bit of those on top on each bowl. And that's it. We're done. And how did we do? I think we did that in under 10 minutes. So that's it. That's all there is to putting their food together. Thanks for watching. Please come back and watch us again. Thanks.